Well, hello, UFO. Hello, YouTube. Welcome back to the Bison Workshop. I'm Bob, and I just wanted to do a small video on me fixing my carburetor on my truck. I did get the pulley on my lawnmower, so it's back up and going. So it's one down. I even adjusted the brakes while I was at it because the brakes wouldn't never hold on it. So I went ahead and adjusted the brakes, took the brake clear off of it, cleaned them up, resanded the pad so it would have a good surface or new surface, and put it back together. And now we've got the carburetor off my truck. Now what it was doing, it was dumping a lot of fuel down into the carburetor and flooding itself out. So that tells me that it's got to do with the needle valves, these bad boys. So we're going to replace the power valve, we're going to replace the needle valves. The sucky part of this is these are not adjustable. I don't know how that's going to work, but we'll put you down here and show you what we got. Now, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on rebuilding this carburetor completely. I just got the kit so I could get the parts that I did want out, which is these and the I don't know what you call it, diaphragm. So we got the power valve, we got the needle valves, and the diaphragm, and that's all I'm going to replace, and the gaskets, of course, whichever ones of these gaskets here that we need. Now we're going to have to run into another problem. I took the bottom plate off, and I'm kind of wishing I hadn't done that because I thought it was broke, the gasket. So I went to pull the plate off of the intake. My plate's got a piece that comes off the side, a red or some kind of a. It's for the exhaust, for heating something. I don't know how it works, but it doesn't go on like a regular gasket. It's got a hole. Matter of fact, let me just go get it and show you. Alright, this is the gasket that I broke, and I wish I'd have never took it off, but the reason I took it off is because when I had it together like that, it looked like it was broke inside there. Well, it was a bug that got in there and made a nasty mess, and it looked like it was a hole. And when I took this off, I broke that seal, and now I don't have that gasket. They don't include that in the carburetor gasket. They used to, but they don't no more. So I'm going to have to make that gasket out of cereal box and maybe a thin piece of aluminum to go in between it. So I'm thinking what I'm going to do is make two gaskets like this out of cardboard, cereal box cardboard, and then find me a piece of aluminum to go in between them and cut it out exactly like this, and then take RTV gasket maker and sandwich all them together and glue them together like that, and hopefully that'll work. We'll see. I may be causing a bigger problem, but I'd like to eliminate that. But in order to eliminate this, I have to change intakes. This is original factory. This has to do with the choke, because it goes over into the intake, and then you got a plate where you hook the line up for the choke, and it goes down to the exhaust manifold, so that when it heats up, it puts hot air into this and opens your choke. So I have an electric choke, so we don't need this. But because I don't have another intake to put on this, I'd like to have an aluminum intake that's got the square bore instead of this cutout right here. So we're going to clean all this up and put that on the back burner. But for now, we're going to take the bowls off, and I'm hoping this is going to work. I'm not sure how this is going to work because these are adjustable and these are not. So I may be right back to the drawing board. I don't know. I don't know if you can punch these out. I don't know if it's threaded or not inside here, but I think you can punch these out. I may have to go in there and do some YouTube and see how other people did this and see if there's threads in there. Not because I don't know how to do it, it's because I don't know what's underneath this and I've never experienced this before. Why they would do that so you can't adjust them is beyond me. So we may have a problem yet. We'll see. So I'll get my stuff together here and get ready to start taking this thing apart and see what we can find. So first thing we're going to do is take the rear bowl off. And we're going to lose some gas. So we're going to go ahead and pull this bottom bolt and find us something to put the gas in, or let the gas drain into. Alright. Let that gas drain out. Now remember, when you guys take these carburetors apart, the thing you want to pay attention to is these bolts here are longer on the front bowl than they are on the back bowl. So you want to make sure you keep the short bowl bolts with the short bowl, because this one's got a metering block in it for your vacuum advance. So now we're going to take and drain the gas out of the other side by just taking a bolt out of the bottom. Alright, we got that one drained. Now let's finish draining this. Alright, so if anybody wants to know how much gas the carburetor holds, that's it. I better move that. I might grab that and take me a swig of coffee and find out it's gas. Alright, so now let's take this bottom bolt off, or the back bowl off. And then you've got an O-ring on this tube. That one don't look right. I believe those are supposed to be square, or level, or parallel with the bottom. This part right here, I'm pretty sure that's the case. But we're going to find out what the deal is here. Alright, so we got to take this clip off. And I hate doing them clips because I'm always scared that I'm going to lose it. So we got to find something to remove that with. And we don't want to lose it. So now we'll slide this up off of there. Take the needle valve out and inspect it. And then we're going to take this bolt here out as soon as I find a 1/2 inch wrench. I just had one here somewhere. Well, it looks to me like we got the wrong kit. So we're not going to have a truck yet. Well, maybe. I got to put this back in, but I've got the wrong kit. For this particular carburetor. What I need to do is find me a set of bowls that have the adjustable. If anybody out there's got a set of these Holly bowls that have the adjuster screws on top, get with me, man. Let's make a deal. Alright, so well, I should have checked that damn seat before I put that back in there. Alright, I'm going to look up in there and see how good that looks. Alright, this looks good. The needle valve looks good, so this one's okay. So we're just going to put this back together, check everything, make sure it's nice and clean. Then we'll put this needle valve back in. Then we'll put this back in. And I can't see nothing, man. Let me go put this in under the magnifying glass. Them things ain't easy to get back in there. Alright, so there's that. We'll put that one aside. Now I'll take the back bow off. Make sure you don't lose your washers. Alright, so while we've got this off, take this tube out. And then we're going to take this off and replace that. This one looks good, but while I've got it apart, might as well go ahead and replace it, right? Alright, so now we'll just tighten this down. And you go crisscross. You don't want to go around. You want to go from there to there, and then do this one, and then do this side, and then just go around and check them all. Alright, so now, yep, we ain't done with this one. We got to put this plate back down in there. Alright, so now let's take this gasket off. If we can do it without destroying it, we might be able to reuse it. Well, the needle valve looks fine. So now let's take this block out and see what it looks like. And it looks good too. So I don't know what the deal is, unless I got a power valve broke, but that's going to be replaced too. Alright, so now we can put this back in. Put our needle valve back in. Make sure that that little tang that's on the bottom of the needle valve is sticking towards you, because it will slide into this right underneath that. So And we'll put this back on it without losing it, hopefully. Well, I just dropped it down in there. These things ain't easy to get back on. Especially when you got big thumbs. Alright, so we've got that back together. Now the way I test them is I plug that hole right there and I blow into the inlet like this. Right now it should be closed off with just the weight of that. So yeah, I can't push any out, so watch. Alright, so I believe the needle valves are just fine. So now we've got this back together and this back together. Now we're going to take this metering block off. So we're going to take this metering block right here off, and I just taken bump it a little bit. And then we're going to take this out, and that should be a 1 inch. It's a little off. It's a different size than 1 inch. It's usually a 1 inch. So now we're going to replace this power valve, and the gasket looks just fine. So we're not going to replace that gasket. Alright, so we've got it straight. So now we want to inspect the gasket and make sure that everything's okay. Nothing's pulled apart. And that gasket looks fine. There's nothing pulled off. It's nice and smooth. This is a brand new carburetor, so it ain't but about 7 years old. So we're hoping that this takes care of that. So now we'll just take and put that up on its side here like that. And let me inspect that gasket. Alright, we're going to have to replace this gasket, so let's find the one that looks like it. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Alright, this is the one. While we're at it, we're going to take these little orifices out and see if we can't clean them up a little bit too. We're going to blow through them. And we're just going to blow them out, put them back in. I think they call those nozzles. Alright, so we've got the metering block done. We got the new power valve in it. Now we can go ahead and put our block back on it. Find something to put that up on. Alright, so now we're going to put this front bowl back on. With your long bolts. Alright, so we've got the front bowl back on. We got this lever underneath there. And we want to check all of our vacuum covers. So now we can go ahead and put the front one back on it. We're not going to take this part off, but I do see a screw that looks like it backed out. So we need to find out why that looks like that. Yeah, I don't know why those backed out. Hell, they're all loose. That may have been the problem right there. See, that one's backed out where I can see a gap between it. And so was this one. So we're not going to mess with that gasket because there ain't nothing wrong with that gasket. So now we'll go ahead and put this back on, but before you do, you got to make sure you put your tube back in, because if you don't, it ain't going to work. So here's what I do to help that out. I just get a little dab, just enough to put on the edge of that tube. You don't want it on the inside, and it don't matter if it does get on the inside, because it'll just mix with the gas and it'll burn up. No big deal. That way it'll slide up on there without a whole lot of effort. So we'll go ahead and put that back in this side. Well, we may have to pull that out. Slide it on the tube, and we'll do the same thing with this one. Slide that on the tube, and then we're going to put a little bit around that O-ring, or black rubber. And we're just putting a smidgen on it. Does anybody know what smidgen is? Alright, so now we've got that one plugged in. And you want to check and make sure everything's working. Alright, it's working. So now we'll put this one back up on there. And hope to God I'm not forgetting something. Now what I do, I just take and tighten that hand tight. And then I will take the ratchet and go around to each one of them. Maybe a quarter of a turn, maybe less. Well, I didn't crisscross them, but we had it tight enough that ain't going to be a problem. Alright, so now we've got this ready to go back on. So now we need to make the gasket. I'll make the gasket and we'll show you that when we get back. Alright guys, so now we're going to make this gasket. And what I've decided to do, instead of making a triple one with aluminum in it, because I don't have no aluminum to put in it, I will be getting another one of these gaskets, but this is going to buy me some time until I can get it. I need to get my vehicle going so I can go get parts and food and stuff like that. Right now I'm almost out of food and I need to get to the grocery store, so we're just going to take and use one of these. I collect cereal box panels and cheese it. As you can see, you don't want to use the cheese it, because then my truck will be cheesing on me. So we're going to use Raisin Bran. We're going to use Raisin Bran, and basically all we're going to do is trace that out, get close to the edge, and then we're going to trace that out. Alright, I can't find my tools, but this here will work. This is just a thing off of a tip that you put in your drill that slides down on your screws. Yeah, it's a little big, but it'll work. Alright guys, now I need to clean all this off, so I need to get a scraper. We got light. Alright, now everything's back to normal except for the laundry room and the bathroom. But anyway, we built it, rebuilt it, half-assed, just cleaned it up basically and put a new power valve in it and a new diaphragm and checked and cleaned the needle valves. So that gasket will work just long enough for me to go get one. At least I'm movable now, so now I get to put my breather back on it and trip and fall and kill myself. So Put that back on there. And I made that. Alright, so now we're back up and going. Now I got to stick my charger on it, so that means I got to run an extension cord out here. I need a better place to park, somewhere where it's accessible for extension cord. But anyway, I'll work all that out. Just wanted to show that. I hope you guys got something out of this. If anybody's got one of these gaskets, let me know. Maybe we can do some trading. I'm a horse trading kind of guy. So, them bowls too. If anybody's got one of them bowls, or them, the front bowl and the rear bowl that has the adjusters where you can put that style needle valves in, let me know. We'll work out something. Anyway, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. I got to do some mowing and work on the laundry room a little bit, which is no longer going to be a laundry room. We're going to change that to something else. We're going to put the laundry room in the bathroom. We got room to do it, and I think I'm going to be able to do it. So anyway, you guys have a good one. Later.